Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.
All right, welcome to 15 Minutes of Genius. I am Alex Baer. I'm the founder and CEO of Genius Juice. This is a show that just really helps entrepreneurs in the food, beverage, CPG arena. Every week, we bring on a different genius to share their wisdom, their experience, and really just giving back and giving tidbits and insight to all the entrepreneurs that are out there that are building their own business. So very excited this week. This guy is amazing, good friend of mine. He's in New York. We're taping this literally, I think at 6, 7 p.m. at night here in California. So it's like probably 9:30, 10 o'clock over there right now. So he's staying up late for the 15 Minutes of Genius show. But before getting into introducing him, I first, right before, would like to make a plug to Manhattan Beach Studios. So we're broadcasting from here. This is, as you can probably tell, in Manhattan Beach. And we got my man, our producer, Mark Nicholas, who works at Manhattan Beach Studios. And if you ever need videos, audio, fancy shows like this with cool special effects and logos flying in and flying out and like names under us, all that stuff, all the cool stuff that really I have no idea how to do. Mark Nicholas is your man. You can reach him at markn@manhattanbeachstudios.net. All right, so we'll get right into it without any further ado. Ned Weiser, he is the founder and chief innovator of Weiser Provisions. Ned is a longtime player in food and beverage, working to bring health and wellness, food safety and sourcing diversity options to companies he has worked for and supplied to. Lessons learned at Harvard Business School, I was never smart enough to get in there, and in Silicon Valley have shaped his unique perspective on everything from team design to sourcing and manufacturing options of ingredients. All right, Ned, how you doing?
I'm all right. Thanks so much, Alex, for having me, and congratulations on all you've accomplished of late and for having kicked off this new format.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you are our second guest on here. So you made the top 3. So we had Mark Samuel last week, and then this week is you. And I just want to say congratulations on all the books you read on that bookshelf behind you.
Well, thank you. I'll give my wife some credit too.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so we have a lot to get into here, and because of just your wealth of experience, man, I mean, it's overwhelming. So I just want to start out. You've told me this story before, over lunch. Took an hour, and I was enthralled, so you have to compress it down a little more. But tell us more about your story, how you got started in this space, what got you into food, beverage, and ingredients and sourcing. Tell us more.
All right. Well, I'll start you with out of college, starting my career. I started in high-tech subassembly manufacturing. Started off making what I now look back on as an ingredient for the electronics industry. And that was my introduction. And then later, coming out of business school, I joined IBM and managed manufacturing operations for them, making a finished system. And my first introduction to a finished system, which later on would become analogous to my experiences with CPG. When it was time to move back east, I took the opportunity to join the food industry and joined B&G Foods, a pickle and pepper and jam and jelly manufacturer. And while I was doing the purchasing and keeping my ingredient experience going, I was on the terrific executive committee that was selling CPG items, and we had a DSD delivery network that was heart and soul of what we did, and that was actually the reason why the private equity group that owned us had joined the pickle and pepper business with the jam and jelly business, because they both shared a DSD delivery system, which was very tough to stay competitive with. But by merging those, they had enough efficiencies, enough volume to run 46 straight trucks up and down the Northeast, and did a great job to the point where we grew the business nicely, and they were able to sell the company. And coming out of that, I was recruited by Conagra and Ned, had a chance.
And Ned, sorry to cut you off. What was the revenue of that company, the pickle, pepper, and the jams? And because you helped build that up, and did all the operations and logistics. Like, what were they at?
We grew it from $80 million to $100 million.
Wow. So a 25% increase. It went to 100 mil.
In 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Wow.
3 years. We were on a fast growth during that time. They had also rolled out a super regional brand. So we had distribution of a couple of items up in a broader area outside the DSD that helped drive the growth there as well.
Wow. It's awesome. And then, like, what would you say when you're working with companies? What is, like, I guess, like, let's take this pickle and pepper. This is kind of a tongue twister. Pickle, pepper, jam, and jellies, right?
Right.
What areas did you focus on first? Like, when you came through the door, they hired you and started you off. What was, like, the first thing you said that this is where I can streamline, this is where I can add value?
One of the places we found was that they were running their products straight. They were running trucks from California for a great deal of the goods, frozen goods. They were shipping across the country, and paying storage out in the West to be able to ship them throughout the year. We were able to, when I looked at the efficiencies of shipping by rail and storing in the East, we were able to justify raising the working capital to be able to change the buying dynamic and buy everything at as soon as it was packed, put it into rail cars, bring it to the Northeast, store it very efficiently on a lane that was a backhaul between our pickle and pepper operation in Maryland and our New Jersey operation, and where we're doing the jams and jellies. And we were able to pick up and bring the goods on a free ride from our New Jersey warehouse into our place. And we had tremendous efficiencies and savings by changing that whole dynamic of how we move things. So the supply chain was an important dynamic in how we managed that business and found efficiencies.
Yeah, and I think you raise a really good point, how you made it more efficient and you're able to kind of piggyback on with other trucks and get the costs down, right? Like per unit, for better cost of goods, better margins, and ultimately better profit. So what would be your, I guess, like really going into more, let's tap into that genius that, that's in your brain right now. What would be your advice to entrepreneurs on, like, let's say they have a bottled juice, or let's say they have chips, or let's say whatever they have. How do you, freight is a huge, a huge expense. How do you eventually get the cost down? What are some strategies? Do you work with brokers? Are there certain trucking companies? Like, what is the best way to get costs down in freight?
Freight is become the big challenge, no doubt. And we did find that by having a network of brokers, so we could bid things out, move quickly, and be able to bid things out and keep our truckers competitive and keep them honest, that we were able to build a nice world of good pricing. And volume helps tremendously too.
Yeah,
so
sales.
Just like we said that merging the two businesses and created efficiencies. Here too, see who you can team up with, and see what other products you can learn to distribute along the way with your own, because there are tremendous efficiencies for those who have some scale.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me, like when we were shipping our previous warehouse, there were other, obviously, we have a coconut smoothie in a bottle, it's refrigerated. There's plenty of other products that are in that facility, not even partnered brands, but like other juices, other refrigerated products. If you can align on a shipping schedule, you can all share that truck. And I mean, like, not to get too much in the weeds on this, but shipping one pallet versus 3 pallets versus 5 pallets. I mean, a truckload sometimes costs less than a single pallet, It's all about those efficiencies and getting that volume. So you're right. It's a big deal.
When I was back in the days when we used to travel, and I was out west at Natural Products Expo West, I met someone who took an interest in me in a way I didn't expect it. I didn't realize where he was going with it at first. This was a hummus manufacturer using HPP, high pressure processing technology in the Midwest, and they were delivering to 3 regions around the country and had significant trucking bills and weren't able to put together full trucks. And they took an interest in me because they knew that once they heard I was doing HPP juices, they wanted to figure out how we could team up and figure out a way to do those juices in their region and be able to put them on the same truck and get the efficiencies of full deliveries out of their door rather than the partial deliveries that were making life very challenging for them. And so people are creatively looking for those types of opportunities. And I did my best to accommodate them and find it, but we actually never did find that solution.
Oh, well, at least you tried, right? And you had the right
we sure
intention
did.
in mind. So, all right. So moving right along, you've worked with ingredients from all over the world. Just in a minute or two, talk about really, I think this would be a really great insight for entrepreneurs out there. What are your favorite ingredients that you've worked with in the past, and what do you think are the future ingredients that people are going to be looking towards, that are going to be trendy and adding value? Like, what do you think is the next big ingredient that is going to hit the shelves?
Wow, Alex, I wish I knew. To some extent, we were making sure that we did our best job to keep people informed as to what the opportunities were and what the options were. And we certainly found that berries were getting hotter and hotter, and there was more going on there.
Like berries, like blueberries, raspberries, that kind of blackberries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Antioxidant, very healthy.
Antioxidant, tremendous challenges there, but with pricing, tend to be some of the more expensive items. But certainly enjoyed a good run with supplying almond items for people as almond milk was just taking off, and certainly enjoyed getting to know you over coconut, and coconut has been a terrific one. And it's great to see the way you have so creatively paired 2 coconut items together and made a real winner. And those pairings are great opportunities to look for and ways for people to distinguish themselves. So it's not necessarily the any one item, but is there something you can do along the lines of what Genius Juice has done and come up with a pairing that makes sense and that lights up the market? Exactly.
I think like pairings are so crucial, like 2 ingredients that go really, really good together, and it can make or break a brand. And I think, just to throw in a little bit of genius from my side, simplicity is best. Like, it's, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. The simpler you can make your formulation, your product, usually the better received it will be and the better it will taste. Our original is just coconut water and meat, as Ned just said. Those 2 pairings, the whole coconut, and that is our top seller by far. All right, so we just have a couple more things here, and we're running out of time. But by the way, when I first met you, because Ned and I did some business in the past where he helped us with financing supply, and he gave me this envelope, and he said, it's pink because coconut water is pink. So this is the one you gave me like a year ago, right?
Okay, all right.
So there we go. It's my memento of you in my office. So, okay, so why don't you do just a plug about yourself? Because I know that you're out there, you're re-innovating yourself, and you're heavily going into operations, logistics, really advising companies. So why don't you do kind of a 1-minute elevator pitch about what you do, and then I have one other question after that. But let's start with, what you do.
So I've taken this year to transition to a new role, as you introduced, with Weiser Provisions. And here I've have some early experiences of advising CPG clients with how to do with general management issues, top level issues across the spectrum, but also supply chain matters, both dealing with cleaning up issues as well as supply chain optimization. And so I love getting the chance to get in with companies like yours and have a chance to delve into issues and opportunities and provide a sounding board and a chance to help bring some of the changes that they can envision to reality. And with the hope that that this could become a transition to a full-time role as well. I'm very open to that as I'm looking at the marketplace.
Definitely, and you bring just a ton of experience and knowledge. And from us, Genius Juice personally working with Ned, amazing guy, super humble, knows his stuff, great listener. So I'd recommend it to anyone that's looking for that kind of guidance and in operations, logistics, sourcing, supply chain. And whatever he's charging, I guarantee that the return on investment will be much greater than what you would ever pay him, because he adds so much value to any organization. So if anyone wants to reach you, Ned, what is your email, website?
Okay, Ned at weiserprovisions.com.
With an S at the end. Provisions, right?
Provisions with an S. Thank you very much. Great way to reach me.
There you go. And last thing, this is this is rapid fire, real quick, 1 minute or less. What are your final words of genius for any food and beverage entrepreneur, just in general, whatever you want to get into? What's your advice if you're sitting down with someone starting a business? What would you tell them in 1 minute or less?
Well, I liked your use of the word humble just there. I think that people who get ahead of their skis and think they have it all solved are looking for trouble. So people who are asking questions, looking for input, and factoring in several different voices, I find are way ahead of the game. And so having a good network and utilizing it well, but knowing that in the end, you've got to factor it all and make your own decisions. But keep the information flowing and stay open and receptive.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I think that's so important. Coachability, right? Malleability, coachability.
Coachability. Thank you very much. Coachability.
And getting advice from the outside and not drinking from the Kool-Aid too much, and yeah, it's being open to other people's advice. Really important. All right.
In health coaching, one key question is are you coachable?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a key thing, man. Key thing. Well, this is really great, Ned. I mean, super grateful to have you on the show. Again, we just started kicking this off, the 15 minutes of genius. You're in New York right now. It's probably your wife and everyone's probably already asleep. You're the last one up. So just want to thank you again for joining us on 15 Minutes of Genius.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So that is in the books, episode number 2. And I want to give a huge shout out again to Mark Nicholas at Manhattan Beach Studios. We're broadcasting from Manhattan Beach. I'm in Redondo Beach, so not too far of a drive for me, which is cool. And if you ever want to reach Mark Nicholas for anything, like for video, audio, he did this production, everything. He built me. I'm a robot. I mean, he's amazing. He's a great producer. And you can reach him at markn@manhattanbeachstudios.net. And thank you again for joining us. 15 Minutes of Genius, broadcasting every single week. And episode 3 coming up next week. Thank you again, and stay genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.